Come on in. Happy Sunday. Happy Nunday. Who's in the house? Anyone here today? Let's take a look. Here we go. Here comes everyone. I see movement. I see little teeny tiny little feet. There they go. Hi, Denise. Hi, Jackie. Hello, Catherine. Hey, Doris. Good to see you. Come on in, everyone. Hello, Trisha. You guys are doing really well, by the way. I should go check and see how you're doing on Facebook. Lizzie, Nancy, hello. Hello, hello. There's Jenny. Julie's here. So is Elaine. Hello, Elaine. There's Marguerite. There's Corky. Oh, wow, Trisha, 5.4. That's good. And there's our girl Jenny. And Gwen's in the house. Who else is here? Well, we have everybody kind of coming in. It's Sunday, and of course, you know, this is our last day of the sprint. The power's on at Carol Ann's house. Yay. Hi, Sandra. Good to see everyone. Yes, it is the last day of the sprint, and I hope everybody is still going strong. I had breakfast this morning. This is the first time I've had breakfast in a week. I had eggs and some ham. I know ham was a little bit out of there, but I was just so starving. I wanted all the things, and I went with that. But anyway, it is so good to you know, connect up and just to say that we are on our way to an exciting Monday morning, because Monday morning happens, that's when we get all the measurements. So if you are looking at and saying, what are we talking about? We're talking about the sprint. It's right there on savingdinner.com. You can see it as soon as you land on the page. And we're just excited about it because we've had really good participation this time. A lot of new people have joined us for the next thing, for the Hot Milk Club, for our next step up. And I'm really excited that we have this this community, because you guys are the best. I mean, you support one another, you're there for one another, and you're there to make a difference, and it's showing up. And today I want to talk a little bit about how we become less attentive, shall we say, with ourselves and with our loved ones, with our lives. We get really myopic sometimes and just, you know, focused on the wrong stuff. Have you ever noticed that? I'm going to tell you a little story about my own inattentiveness. Yes, I guess that is a word, isn't it? Inattentiveness. And it's quite atrocious. You guys are going to just say, oh, Leanne, what are we going to do with you? But anyway, if you are interested, we did do a webinar on Thursday. You can still go take a peek-see. Go to savingdinner.com/webinar, and you can see there's 10 actionable steps. This is 10 things you should be looking at. If you're trying to lose weight, lose inflammation, and feel better, this is a webinar for you. This is a note-taking webinar by all stretch and imagination. So go take a peek at that. That's savingdinner.com/webinar. Really important. Also, this week we have introduced only right here on Facebook, and also to all of our clients and coaching clients, all of our customers who have bought our supplements. It is not out in the general public yet until tomorrow. And that is that we have got some great bulk pricing for those of you who want to stock up. You buy up to 6 bottles of our supplements and you'll get a 25% discount. That's huge. And we've done this because of your loyalty to us has really helped us so that we've been able to do these big bulk purchases, and we're passing it on. Yes, we will still have supplement of the week. Watch this week, it'll come, a new one will come out. But you are the ones who are in the know. So take advantage of that. You can go to store.savingdinner.com and just check out the supplement pages right there. Go shopping and go check it out. You'll see. It's big deal savings, and a lot of people have taken advantage of it. As a matter of fact, we're getting real low on the Just Juice veggies, and I strongly suggest just juice veggies, especially if you've got kids. 1 scoop is 7 to 9 servings of fruit and vegetables, which is just insane. The other thing that we do with this, so this is my formulation, and we have taken out all those, some of the filler grasses, especially the alfalfa. Now we've got some barley in there, we got some wheatgrass in there and stuff. That's different. But alfalfa is a big bulker that they stick in a lot of these things, and alfalfa for women like me who have an autoimmune disease can possibly trigger a cascade of symptoms. You can look that up. I mean, you can find that in all the science. So it's really wise, I think, that we all just stay away from it because, who wants a cascade of symptoms? If you have Hashimoto's, you know what that's about. It means you're on the couch, and it means you feel like you just can't even lift your arms. So we've taken that stuff out. Every single supplement that we have in our store are to help folks out. And Tanya is asking, are any of the supplements tough for lactose intolerant people? No, because none of our supplements have any lactose in them. So if you are lactose intolerant, I totally get it. Same here. And, cheese is at a very minimum in my life. I was once a rosacea bloom. And when I say that, I'm talking crusty, horrible rosacea all over my face, plus all the other inflammation that I had everywhere else, including plantar fasciitis and, fingers that looked like Vienna sausages. I was just a mess. And that is all from inflammation. So I'm very, very cautious about what our supplements are about because some supplements can exacerbate an already strenuous situation, right? So if you have lactose intolerance and you're taking, for example, a probiotic that isn't dairy-free, that can kind of trigger something off. Our probiotic is dairy-free. So lots of different things. And I'm very, like I said, I'm cautious of all of this stuff because I'm in the same boat as you are, Tanya. And I really am very, very careful. Right now, we have been testing all week, not all week, but a few weeks. I have been testing all kinds of skincare stuff. And, some of the stuff has caused me to break out. Other stuff is just, it just all kinds of stuff. You can't even believe it. This is skincare that people are trying to get me to, use. Nope, not happening. But we have a new skincare coming out. So just wait. You'll see. I'm excited. Trisha's right. Our blah, 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 blah. Our supplements are wonderful. They really are. They're all done, they were done with me and a formulator. Oh, I had plantar fasciitis. Like I couldn't even walk across the street, or across the bedroom. I couldn't. It was just, I was in just excruciating pain. I did everything, and it wasn't until I changed my diet, did some different supplements, and got a handle on what was going on. And the first thing first was getting a handle on the inflammation. When you get rid of inflammation, you get rid of a lot of these inflammatory type conditions. And the plantar fasciitis, I just couldn't even believe the pain. I would cry walking across the room. So I know, I've been there, and when I said rosacea, I didn't have like pink cheeks. I had crusty, weeping rosacea, the kind that it disfigures your face. I didn't even want to leave the house. I had that, I also had 3 humongous nodules. They had to do a needle biopsy, and the biopsy needle looked, I swear, of course everything looks like food things, right? But it looked like a turkey baster. And right it went in, and it was just, I never experienced that kind of pain before. You can't, they don't numb you up either. Just like, here you go. I don't know if spider veins will go away. I'm working on my own, but let me just say, my stretch marks have gone away. Any skin tags that I had a couple little tiny ones gone. People have said moles even go away. This is collagen and autophagy in place. You have to go watch the webinar to get the whole skinny on that. But watch that because I talk there about collagen loading, autophagy, how intermittent fasting works, the whole science behind it, and how you can tackle your skin, your stretch marks, even cellulite. It's unbelievable. So you can check it out at savingdinner.com/webinar. It's one of the things that, that kind of stuff lights me up because I recognize and I see just how profound your diet is, how profound your lifestyle is, and how profound your habits are. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I want to talk about being attentive. because being attentive is part of how we dial in our habits and dial in our relationships and really dial in our lives so that we have something enjoyable to live, right? Who wants to be living in a life where it's just this myopic, you know, you're in your head all the time and you just don't even, you're not paying attention. You're not paying attention. And how many times have you said you're not paying attention to a child or even a spouse, God forbid? And how many times are you guilty of it? That's what we're talking about today. I think it has some good, solid takeaways. So hopefully this is going to be helpful for you. Don't forget, our mindful mugs are going, boom, almost gone, almost gone. You get these when you start stocking up and you get a cart full of supplements that are going to last you months and months. I mean, we're talking 6 months, right? When you buy 6 of one, you're going to have them for 6 months. And yes, they're good and manufactured here in the United States, quality all the way. We send these out as a thank you. And I write you a nice little card that looks just like this. Isn't that sweet? You know why we do this? We want you to know that each one of you count. We don't just look at people. We don't just look at sales numbers and say this, that, and the other thing. Here's our goals, this, that. No, we look at you and we say thank you to you. And we pay attention. We're attentive. And we love you. And that's why I show up every single day. Because today, my hair was such a mess. I was like, I can't go on camera like this. And then I finally just said, they don't care. You know, yesterday, Mark and I went, I said, we got to go to Costco. I mean, I was jonesing for a Costco run. And I haven't been out, you guys. So, you know, put on the mask, go to the thing, do the la, 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 la. I'll tell you, I'm done. You know, I don't need to go to stores anymore. I just, oh gosh. And what you know, the rain was going, I had my hair all nice yesterday and the rain was coming and it was whatever. It took us forever to get there. And by the time we left, I was just like in the frizz monster mode. And I don't like going and standing in line and waiting to get into a grocery store. All of this stuff, the pandemic has robbed us, you guys, of what we used to have. And I think I can wait until it's time for us to get back. And I'm very fortunate because Mark is willing to go out there and do all of it. But I just found myself thinking, this is depressing. Get out of here. You know, get out of here. I just don't even want to be around it. Anyway, did it. And now I have decided that I'm not going to do that. And this is what Mother Teresa says about it. The more you love your decisions, the less you need others to love them. Doesn't she just walk? Mother Teresa said that. Mother Teresa never did anything for anybody's approval. She did it because God told her to do it and because she knew it was the right thing. And sometimes you just got to stand up for the right thing. You got to stand up for the right thing. Use your voice. Use your voice. Use your voice and call it out and be that woman. Be that woman. You know, here's the thing. When we get stuck in our way and we get stuck in just thinking, having, you know, this whole life really going on in our heads and not living it out loud, we lose perspective. We lose sight. We don't see the deliciousness of life. We see just this very tiny, tiny part of what's going on. I wanted to talk to you about that. We got to pay attention. We have got to pay attention because you know what paying attention does? Paying attention brings us into the present. Instead of living in the back of our heads, we're living in the front of our heads, where we can see everything, where we can evaluate, where we can be curious about things, where we can have our imagination go a little bit wild, where we can talk about the what ifs. You know, what ifs light me up because what ifs mean possibilities. Because as Robin Sharma says, what you think about expands. So if I'm going to what if something and look and find a solution and have a solution-minded mindset about it instead of just thinking, oh, poor me, and beating myself up and, you know, the whole thing and ticking off the boxes of just how pathetic I am. If I'm going to go there, I am not going to go anywhere else because that is a dead end place. There's nowhere else to go from there. But when you say what if, you're opening up the possibilities of your life. The possibilities. And you know, you've heard me say a bazillion times, and I will say it another bazillion times, because it's one of the most influential quotes that has ever hit me between the the eyes in my life, and that is that little hinges swing big doors. And that just means paying a little bit of attention. That just means being present. Just this little bit opens up all these big things. So when we sit there and get overwhelmed and talk about it and complain about all the big things like that, then you know what we're doing? We're skipping out on the little things. We're skipping out on the little things like if I just pay attention, if I just say something nice first, if I just do this one little thing, this little hinge, that's going to open up that great big door. Because we do not need to be overwhelmed. What we need to do is say, yes, there's a lot going on here, and here's what I'm going to do first. Here's what I'm going to attack first. Here's the thing that I'm going to say first. I'm going to start thinking about the what ifs. I'm going to start using my imagination. I'm going to be curious, because when I'm curious, the solutions start to come. It's that reticular activating system. And we get, at any point, we get to flick that switch and turn it on. Just simply by being present. There's a little hinge. Itty bitty. But what does it do? It opens up. And it's like, you remember the Wizard of Oz? The Wizard of Oz, so great. It's all in black and white until she comes to Oz. And when she gets out of that house, opens up the door, it's just in living color. That's our lives. Our lives can go from black and white to living color if we look for the possibilities, if we look at that and we're paying attention. Not just shrinking back and doing the same old thing and getting the same old results and hating it. Because the whole cycle is just so depressing and boring and all of that. And we don't need to do it. We don't need to do it. We need to pay attention. Many years ago, probably 5 years ago, Mark and I went to Jamaica. And it was a fun trip. We stayed at this little, resort, and we went to the beach a lot. We went swimming. We did, you do all the things in Jamaica. And we just had a really good time. Well, one night we're on the beach and we're just listening to the waves. And I think we're drinking, I made these paleo margaritas up, which were great, by the way. We were drinking a paleo margarita on the beach. And he told me at the time that he loved me. And I wasn't paying attention. I was just all over the place and I didn't hear him. So for 2 months afterwards, he thought that because I didn't say I love you too, he thought I didn't care, right? I wasn't paying attention and didn't hear what he had to say because I was too busy in my own head, too busy doing something else, too busy not paying attention. When you're attentive, you hear the things, right? And if you have a hearing issue, of course, you're going to need to fix that. But I'm just saying, you understand what I'm saying. If you're not paying attention, you're not going to hear what you need to hear. If you're not paying attention, you're not going to see what you need to see. You might miss a little wink. Somebody says something a little sarcastic and then they wink, or they say something a little, and you take it wrong because you weren't paying attention. You might think that something is not being done because somebody's in the midst of doing something and you yell at them and say, what's all this mess here and whatever. Well, I'm right in the middle of doing X, Y, and Z. Do you see where I'm going with all of this? This is what it's like in our lives when we're not paying attention. We have to make a conscious decision to pay attention. Then we can pay attention to the details, not just brush them off. We can pay attention to, am I staying on my program? Am I doing what I need to be doing? It's so interesting too, and I say this, as a coach, because I've coached so many women, but I will oftentimes see somebody's questionnaire that they sent in, and it's very obvious to me why they're not getting the results. And I'll say, well, you know what? You're not sleeping. Well, you know what? You're not drinking the water that you need to be drinking. Well, you know what? This fruit is causing you a problem. You can't be eating all these tropical fruits, and why have this full of sugar? Really? Fruit's so good for you? Nope, not working. Do you see where I'm going with all of this? This is what I want to do, is just give you an open invitation to pay attention to your life, to pay attention to your relationships, to pay attention to yourself. How am I feeling? Check in. How am I feeling? Am I saying what I need to say? Am I having a voice in my relationship? Am I having a voice in what's going on between my toes on the scale? Do I have a voice in everything? Because the difference between paying attention and not is having a voice in what happens. Do you hear me on that? You don't have a voice when you just lay back and you don't pay attention and you don't hear the good stuff or the bad stuff. You don't get a chance to dial in something that you're not paying attention to. How do you dial in a program when you're just willy-nilly doing anything all over the place every single day? You can't. You can't. So when we're paying attention, that means that we're doing things to prepare ourselves, to set up our days. It means that we're in the weeds with ourselves and with what's going on. It doesn't mean that we're picking ourselves apart. It means that we're saying, you know what, this didn't quite work out this time. What can I do to make it better? What if I did this? What if I did that? Because it's never, ever, ever going to be about perfection, but it's always going to be about excellence. And we can't do excellence if we're not paying attention. We have to pay attention to our lives. We have to pay attention to our pantries. We have to pay attention to our habits. We have to pay attention to our sleep, to our hydration. And it seems like a lot, but it's not, because it becomes part of the rhythm of your day. And all I'm saying is that we can bring it back to center when we're centered ourselves. And when we've made a decision that is pro for us. That's it. That's it. It's a decision-making process, right? It's always about a decision. Decisions are choices, and choices are decisions. And non-choices, and saying, I just don't want to make that decision because it's too hard or whatever, is a decision to renege on yourself, to just let whatever happen, happen. And it's to not have a voice. And to me, that is the biggest giving up of yourself, of your dignity that we talked about yesterday. It's a giving up. It's sacrificing yourself for what? For what? So that you don't cause waves? So everybody else is happy and you're just a bottled up mess? Really? Really? Is that what you want? I'm going to bet you anything that's not what you want, because you're here. You're doing the work. You've cooperated with all of these things. But look at what you're doing too, and have that opportunity to do a little bit of a deep dive into, like, I need to do an assessment of what my day looks like. I have to do an assessment of my habits. I need to do an assessment of the way I'm setting up my day and see if I need to do something different. This is why I kept missing it on my hydration, so I set up a hydration station. And it worked so well, I shared it with you. You know, why? Because I didn't sit there and just say, oh, I'm just one of those, I just can't do all that water. No, there was something missing on what was the way I needed to do it. And so I figured it out and I shared it. That's all that this is. That's all that this is. We have to focus on the things that we can do and focus on the ways that we can do them. We have to pull out of it, you know, and take the emotion and just put it to the side for a minute. I'm not saying never feel again or anything, but I'm saying that to get analytical and to do an analysis of what's going on and figure it out, you got to pull the emotion out of it. Otherwise, you know, how many women would have murdered their husbands, right? I love it. Trisha just said my hydration station changed my results this sprint. Because if you don't have the hydration in place, the weight loss is going to be minimal. Hydration is one of the biggies. And hydration also means electrolytes, like you see with my hot milk mix, and fiber, like you see in the fiber mender. Because all of that is what drives hydration in. We have to be into that. Corky, you need to come on into the Hot Melt Sprint group. We need you in there. Hydration station is merely getting the water that you need for the day, putting it in the bottles, and having it ready to go. I have my hydration station downstairs on my island in the kitchen, and this is upstairs in my office. And then I set my alarms on my phone to go off every hour. And when they go off, I go downstairs and I take a great big drink of water, 5 great big huge slugs of water, because that's what I can drink without going, ugh, this is awful. And at the end of the day, my water is all drank, and I've gone up and down the stairs 10 times. That works. That works. It gives me the movement, gives me the hydration. And all of these are little tiny things of dialing in little tiny things, because it's all tiny. It is the little things that create the moments that create a lifetime. You know, we have a tendency to think of the weddings and the big birthdays and all of these things. It's all about the events. And I'm just trying to bring you to this place of understanding that your life is an event, and that the moments are the celebrated things, and that doing things excellently is going to give you that yumminess and the vibrancy that you want out of your life. It's not a great big overhaul. It's just a tiny dial in. Paying attention gives you that advantage where other people are just going, how does she have it and I don't? Well, guess what? You do if you decide to pay attention. It's everything. It's everything, because attention to detail, you've heard it before. She pays attention, you've heard that before. Not attentive, not paying attention, just like you might as well be talking to, you know, a brick wall. You've heard that before too. And nobody likes not being heard. Well, guess what? You don't like not being heard either. And sometimes the worst conversation that you're having is with yourself. So hear yourself, hear your body. Your body is asking you, hydrate me. Your body is asking for you to move it. Your body is asking, if you're in pain of some sort, your body's asking for something different than what you're doing. If you've got inflammation, we've had women saying that their hands started to look normal again and their feet were no longer little Vienna sausages. Your body's telling you something. Start listening. Pay attention. Be attentive. Use all the tools, and we give them all to you, of course. And that's all I'm saying, is that we can use this tool of being attentive and being curious, asking the right questions, taking the emotion out, and looking at it from a very analytical way. How can I make this better? Because there's no put down there, is there? Not at all. It makes you feel better. It makes you feel like you are a part of the solution, not standing way back and watching somebody else's life. It makes you stop for a minute before you start comparing yourself and say, okay, so what's going on in my life? That's a difference. And that's where you can start picking up the yumminess of having this vibrant life that we talk about all day long. That's my idea of a good time, y'all. I don't know about you, but that's my idea of a good time. Catherine said, and her rings move freely again. It always happens. It always happens. You can see the inflammation going. And that's why I always say, when somebody says, oh, it's just water weight, it makes me mad, because let me tell you what water weight's attached to. It's attached to inflammation. Inflammation is attached to something very dangerous going on in your body. We need to get rid of it. Inflammation is the seat of all chronic diseases. Inflammation is the seat of everything we don't want. So when we get rid of inflammation, we are healing our bodies. And our bodies naturally want to heal. They just need the right ingredients. That's what we do. That's all we do. It's very, very simple. So I appreciate you all for showing up here on this lovely Sunday. And I am really glad that you all, have been doing the sprint, that you're getting the results that you're getting. Don't forget, we are almost done. Look at Lizzie, no more Tylenol. This is what I use. So I keep, when I have a headache or anything, I use InfoCrusher. It's good. Muscle ache, good. It works. I've got women who have full-blown arthritis using this instead of all the pain medications and all of that. That stuff just destroys your gut, you guys. We got to protect it. And we can. We can. There's so many things that we can do. And it's what we're all about. I can't wait for tomorrow morning to see everybody's results. Stay the course. We are almost there. We are almost there. We'll check in, get good results. And if you have a question, if you want me to see something in particular, tag me in our Facebook group and let me know what's going on. And I'm just delighted to watch all of you. Look at you, Marguerite says no more migraines. We must be doing something right, y'all. No more migraines, no more Tylenol. What else did we have here? Rings moving around freely, no more inflammation, losing weight. It doesn't stink, does it? It's pretty good. I think we're on to something, y'all. I think we're on to something. Pinkies up. Let's all do this together. all do this together. Share this. Let's get some more people into our community. There's so many people out there who feel isolated and alone. And you don't, do you? We're connected and we're community. And we're in here cheering for each other. It's unbelievable. Peace out. Thanks for joining me today. Peace be with you. I'll see you Monday morning. Bye.